you know, this is probably going to be very revealing about me, but do you ever have a moment when you're like, oh, everything's annoying, everybody's annoying, or is that just me and I need to work on that?
When you got the ultimate life coach, you've got to ask, right? In all honesty, the conversation between Jay and I flowed like a friend asking their very, very wise friend for insight.
Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty.
The one, the only Jay Shetty.
Jay Shetty, the name and face now synonymous with an award-winning podcast host, New York Times best-selling author, former monk, and purpose-driven entrepreneur. But as I learned, Jay doesn't necessarily consider himself any of those titles.
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? Our roles, they almost define us so much today, but truly I see those roles as vehicles.
Okay.
They're just formats and mediums to reach people. If someone asked me who I am or what I am, I'd say I'm a human who's committed to helping people find their purpose and live a meaningful life. And so I'm not an author, and I'm not a podcaster, and I'm not any of those things. They're just the way today to connect with humanity.
That form of connection is central to Jay's mission. In his book, Think Like a Monk, Jay details attending a monk's lecture who spoke of selflessness and living a minimalist lifestyle. Following that lecture, Jay decided to spend his summers living with monks in India before eventually going into monkhood. And this was an unconventional route for him. In the same book, Jay says he grew up in a family where you could only become one of three things: a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. Still, Jay followed his intuition, living a life of peace and mindfulness. 3 years later, he made the decision to leave and share what he learned with the world.
Why do you want to help people? Why is this your mission?
I always like to demystify it, because I almost think about it like, if you just saw a really good movie, wouldn't you just want to tell everyone about it? When I first got introduced to Eastern wisdom of the Vedas, which is 5,000 years old, that's how I felt. I felt like somebody just watched the best movie of all time. And I wanted every single person to hear it. If you found insights and habits that could truly inspire and change someone's life, why would you not want everyone to have them? I feel it would be a disservice to not share it. And I really believe it's a responsibility to want to share all of this wisdom with everyone I can possibly meet. And then now, having done that for many years, my why is the amazing stories I get to hear. Right. So someone will come up to me at an airport and say, Jay, you know, your book helped me get through my breakup. Or Jay,
that
the podcast.
That was me, Jay. That was me.
Right. Yeah. And that is why I do what I do now.
Jay Shetty now has the #1 health and wellness podcast in the world, where celebrities, athletes, doctors, and thinkers go to dive into central issues. Whether you know it or not, many of his posts, like this, probably pop up on your feed.
It's people saying to me, Jay, I didn't commit suicide because of listening to something like that. That's what is my why now, is realizing that there are so many people out there in the world who have so many beautiful lives to live and mean so much to so many people. And if my work can help them at a difficult time, then I feel like the luckiest person on the planet.
The On Purpose podcast and his 2 books let people into Jay's world and thoughts on just about every topic you can imagine. From advice on love, friendship, conflict, or work, there's probably an On Purpose episode about that topic. Jay is headed to 15 cities, bringing the same experience you get in your earbuds to the stage.
I want to give people really practical, actionable tools that are so important for right now. We all need a pattern interrupt. Our thoughts get into a pattern of thought of like, I can't achieve this year, or this is not possible for me this year, or I'll wait till next year. I want to interrupt that thought pattern and give people the tools to make 2025 the best year of their life, even if I'm seeing you in the middle of the year. I'm just looking forward to looking into people's eyes, giving them a hug, holding their hands. Like I love being present with people, and I think the energy in a room is so different. We've all got used to doing this, but I remember going into a venue where there'd be 2 people in a room or 5 people in a room, and that's where I started. And so for me, when I'm in this room with thousands of people, I'm just visualizing it being 5 so that everyone can have this really intimate, connected experience. And I'm excited for people to walk into a theater where they look left and right and they're surrounded by like-minded people. Like the person sitting next to you listens to the same podcast every week.
Right, and the
You're gonna have
goal is
so
the
much
same.
in common. Yeah. You're gonna walk out with a new friend, maybe a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, you know, you can walk out with your future partner. Like, that's what I'm excited about.
And he's bringing a few special guests along too. And I tried to pull clues out of him, but
no clues into who the 15 people are in the 15 cities. Are they catered to the cities?
All I can say is that my wife may make a special appearance at one of the cities.
We love her. You know, we're big fans of her as well. To me, you're one in a million. To people who listen to your works, you're a solid person, one of one. So what would people be shocked to know about you behind the scenes of what you do?
What would people be shocked to know? That's an interesting one. The reason why I make a lot of videos with my wife and content with her is just to remind people that I'm also just normal and human and do silly things and make mistakes.
Yeah,
and my wife
you need those kind of people. You need those kind of people.
Yeah, my wife gets mad at me and, you know, she has to tell me things 7 times before I remember them. And, you know, all the rest of it. And that's one of the reasons why we share a lot of the behind the scenes, because I think in the past, if you were a teacher or a guide or sharing insight, there was this distance. And I don't like that, because I just want to be everyone's friend.
What does your wife get mad at you about?
Oh, you'll have to ask her that. She probably has a long list. Probably the usual stuff, like leaving my shoes at the door.
Oh, typical man stuff.
It's the usual stuff.
I got it. Jay Shetty leaves his shoes everywhere, folks.
And back to that initial exchange of a friend asking another very, very wise friend for advice.
Do you ever have a moment when you're like, oh, everything's annoying, everybody's annoying? Or is that just me and I need to work on that?
Well, let's just say the advice is just as sound as you would expect.
No, I think you're speaking of everyone. I've definitely had that experience. I try and spend a lot of time alone when I feel that way.
Okay.
And I think I'm the kind of person that would cancel plans, go away, like hide away in my home for a weekend, whatever it takes to really regenerate. And I think that's just a sign that it's your body and mind telling you, I need to regenerate. Because here's the reality. When you've slept well, you can take any annoyance. When you're taking care of your health and your diet and your workout and everything, you can take on so much more stress. And so as soon as you find yourself losing that tolerance or that ability, it's just a reminder to say, all right, it's time for me to calm down. So I see it more as a signal and a sign of me needing to slow down.
Slow it down.
Than it is a sign of me being weak or wrong or a bad person. It's just my body and mind saying, you've been overextending yourself.
Now it's time. It's like a signal.
Exactly.